Today's topic is data import in R, data importing, how to import the data from different data sources or different data files into R, like Excel and SPSS file or SES file or something like that. Today's class will cover this. It's divided into 5 parts, and we'll try to cover everything as much possible way we can do. Connect to RDBMS using R, ODBC and basic SQL queries in R. We'll discuss the, I will give you the path to first have the MySQL in your computer, and we'll give you the script for that so that you can connect it. First you need to install MySQL kind of thing in your computer. Then the basic web scraping, read data directly from internet, very easy, just need to write a perfect command and the things would go on. Now you can see my screen. I've just opened the RStudio. Now I want to clear the console. For that, Control L is the command to clear the console. So I just console that. I just clear the console, make it. Now I want to remove all the existing objects that is already there in my database in my R environment. So what is the command to remove that? Like first, if you want to check that what are the different objects that has already been there in the environment, run the ls command. So right now I have 2 objects, data objects in my R environment, DB and Excel dataset. I want to get rid of all those data objects. So what is the command? The command, look at the row number 1, RM, yes. RM list ls. RM, you can delete one by one in this way, like RM and the object name, let's say DB is there, Control Enter. It will remove the one data object at a time. Only the Excel data set is there. And if you want to remove everything, every object there in the R environment, simply run this command at row number 1, RM list ls. That removes all of the object. Now if you again check through ls command, there's no environment, there's no variable left in the global environment. So in this way, so let's move on. We also discuss about that if you want to take help of any of the keyword in R. So there's one way to get the help. Look at that. It is reading. Then run this. It will. Right, Gaurav, I have submitted the quiz. Great, Gaurav. Do you find any difficulty into that? So I think all of you also have to submit the quiz that is there for the week 3 and the assignments. So search result, there's a read command there. We have simply, if you write read, you can understand what is there in the read command. Okay, before moving on to okay, first I want to move on row number 53 so that we can discuss about how to read an Excel file in R directly. Bibas have a question. We do not use semicolon in R, so do we write a script? I mean, how does R understand the completion of a command? R take one function at a time. So whenever you do, R understand in that way only. R scripts are written that it execute one function at a time. So because in that way the R understand that one function is completed. If you write the next function altogether there, let's say I write get working directory, Control C and Control V, like this. Look at the row number 53 and I execute this. So it understands that there is an error because it execute one function at a time, and as the function boundaries ends up with this bracket, so it throws an error. If you want to run it, we need to put that here. In this way it will execute both of the command. Oh sorry, get GTWD, it is get WD. Right, Control Enter. Okay, now it is giving you an error, then unexpected symbol. But if I run it like this, okay, it executing both the commands. Right, Gaurav? Yes. Vibhas, you got that? Okay. Right. So in this way the R understand that. So there is a package called Excel Connect. I have already installed that package. If you don't have this package, better go into the install package command and write the XL Connect and install that. And first install this package there. Make sure that XL are capital. So XLC are capital. Right. So at row number 53, look at that. Control Enter. I just invoke that package that is already there. Library command does what? Install.package actually install the package and all its libraries into the folder. But to invoke that package and all its functionality into your running current R environment, you need to invoke by using the library command. So unless you would not use the library and the package name command, the package functionality will not, you cannot use any function that is written in the package in your R environment, in our present R environment. So library function helps to execute or invoke those package and its functionality into the environment. So that is another way of memory management in R. Okay, now look at row number 54. What I'm doing, I'm assigning load workbook is a function. In this way, if you look at that, I have excelconnect.xlsx file there in this folder. So I simply extracting this file and assigning it into the workbook variable. So if I run that 54, let's see, first it's reading where there's the, in my environment workbook has been created, right? Now in this workbook, that is the R, yes, this one. Look at that, R version is 3.1.0. So I'm using that and it's working fine here. Okay. Fine, like I have created the workbook. Now this particular workbook may have n number of sheets. So if you look at row number 57, I'm assigning one particular sheet into a variable of that workbook. So I have a sheet named policy detail, and let me show you where is that, so that I'm having these files here only. Here's the Excel Connect file. Look at that. There might be number of sheets. So I want to invoke the policy detail sheet only. Okay. So in this way, I am simply assigning on row number 57. I'm assigning policy detail sheet into this Excel data set. Control Enter. Taking time in reading that. Okay, it's there. Now I want to view what is there in the policy detail sheet. So command called view. V is capital here. Make sure you use the proper format. Look at that. There are 9 columns and 15,290 variables are there. So in this way I can invoke the file from Excel. Right? It's clear to everyone? Or if anyone is facing any problem into that? That's a very simple command. Now I don't want this workbook, whole workbook. I simply need that one sheet only, which is stored in Excel dataset. So better in terms of in the point of memory management, better to remove it. So yeah, Lakshmi, yes, that need to be practiced. I will upload it by that today. Rahil, okay, where you want to go? Can you scroll to the right so I can see the entire load workbook function? Okay, load work function, right, sure. Right, remove that POES4, Vibhas. Remove it by default, it's there. So Vibhas, Rahil, I gave the path where the file is there and the file name. Right? It is simply like I stored my Excel file in the C folder users, Surbhi, desktop, analytical training. Rahil is saying that he installed the package successfully and installed it, but it is unable to find the load workbook function when I tried to load a simple file. Okay, I don't know why the problem is there. Do you have the latest R version with you? Because some packages which are newly added up do not support the older version. You know how to update your latest, your old R with latest R version? If you do not, okay, install.package and installer. There's a package called installer. Please write that name. I'm not running that package right now, but please write that name. installer. So any one of you has to update your old R version with the new one. So install this package using the install.package function. You can, you use this. INSTALLR. INSTALLR. So that is the package. So if you install that package, then there is a function called update R. Update R. You just need to invoke this function, right? It will automatically update and will guide you through the process. Right, Rahel? Lakshmi, you asked no A. I don't understand. What is your question? Can you please explain? Installer. Okay, now you can install that package, installer. If you have not installed it already, you can install right now or later on so that you can update. But I would not suggest you to update right now. Run that right now, maybe later on. Okay, Rahel, is that okay with you? Okay, let me check. I'm using them. Yeah, update capital R. Yes, yes. Okay, Control C. I should put that here so that when you read the script, you can probably. Oh. So on R command, you see at the data tab. I hope you can see the screen. Right, you can see that. So on data tab, look at that. Click on import data. As soon as you click on that, there are many options available there. Okay, they will guide you. Simply like from Excel file, we want to import something from Excel file. Okay, just click here. It will ask you. Let's say I want to put a name as Excel Connect. Okay. And I just give it the right path. Where's your file here? Okay, so I think this would work fine. Right? Look at that here. It is asking for select one table. Can you see that on the upper part of the right side? Here is giving me the name. So it's gone. Right. Simply click the sheet that you want. Okay, and it's there. Right? You got that? I think this would work for all of you. Okay. Meenakshi, is this option is working for you? Right. So that's fine. For reading an SPSS file, we need a package called foreign. I already have that package with me. If you look at on package, I go and I simply write. Yes, look at that. It is already there. And it is checked. That means it is already invoked using the library function. But I can run it again. Control Enter. Get working directory and simply want to find out. I want to run that. What is the working directory? So working directory is this time is R week 2, that is my current working directory. I don't need to set it again, because why I'm setting my working directory, because the reason is that I put this file ch03 underscore magnet underscore schools dot sav, which is basically a SPSS file, into my working directory. I told you that if you have put any of your file in your working directory, then you can invoke that file simply by writing the file name only. You don't need to give the full path. So that is why set working directory is always a good option. Otherwise you need to always take care that you have to give the full path, full address in your computer, of your computer. So read.spss is a function to read file from SPSS, but it will work only when you install that package foreign and invoke it through library. Until unless it would not work. Otherwise, it's very easy to read SPSS file. Look at that row number 70. Like we have a file already there in that folder, and simply control enter. It has read that. If I want to look at the file is there. Okay, it has 2 columns. Look at that. Look at my screen. It has 2 columns, ethnicity and that may be admission something. So in the same way it read. Now we can do everything about it. Head function, Rahel, you asked in the last class, and I could not deal with this head and tail function. So please look at here on row number 72. Head function is doing what? Head actually gives, it is considered under the inspection function. They are called head, and tail are called the inspection function. So if you write head SPSS data, it will give you first 5-6 rows of that. Oh, sorry, what went wrong? Oh, the problem with that, we have not converted into our data structure. So let me come to that. 72, look at row number 72. If I run head and the data object in R, it should give a first 5 rows. Similarly, if I run tail function, it should give last 5 rows. But now look at that. If I run that tail function, it is actually giving me all the rows. Now let's find out how many columns. That is a R function. That's a R inbuilt function. Only 1 column. But when we see that there is a 2 column. So what is wrong with that? Why it seems that R is not able to read the SPSS file properly. So what went wrong? Let's check it. So on 75 N row, again only 2 row, but by looking at that on the console, we see that there are 1753 rows. If you again look at the SPSS data on the screen, we see that 755 observation and 2 variables. Then what is wrong with that? Did we have missed something, or is there an issue with the data structure in SPSS and data structure in R? So that means we need to take care of that. We need to convert whatever the data structure in SPSS, and we need to convert the compatible data structure of R. So look at row number 76. Class SPSS data is a list. So now you got it. When read.spss read particular file and assigning it to an object, it is taking it as a list. But I told you, like whenever there's a table-like structure where different columns may have different data types, it should be data frame object. So how we can convert this list item into data frame? A very simple command. Look at the row number 77. What I'm doing, I'm using the function s.data.frame and the object name SPSS data. So SPSS data is list type, and I'm converting into data.frame. So after converting into, it should work, it should take it as a table. I hope all of you are getting this concept. Any question over there? If I run that, control enter, it has been controlled. Now try to inspect with head function. Now it should give 5 rows. Let's see what happened. Look at that. It gives first 6 rows. So now it is working fine. Why? Because we have converted it from list to data.frame, and we have discussed about these data types. So I think you people are pretty much clear about these things. Okay, yeah, Gaurav, wait a minute. We'll come to that. So when we look at the tail, right, it's ethnicity and admission. Now number of rows, there are 1755 rows. So s.data.frame doing what? It is also taking care of column names. If you remember, Gaurav, like Gaurav, we discussed about the data types in R, and you know, it took the yes. Now Lakshmi, it is listing, because now it is a data.frame. It's not list, and actually when we read .SPSS file, it is actually take it as a whole of the data into one column, or let's say in one place, and consider it as a list. That is the reason we need to convert that into data.frame. So through this example, I suggest all of you to take care of that. Whenever you come across the situation, first try to inspect that object using this class function, type of function that we discussed in the last, I think, yesterday's class. So probably you may get a better picture. If you want to change it, you can do by these functions. So on 81 n column, look at that, it's working fine. Now str function. Rahil, are you clear with head and tail function? Yesterday I could not discuss that. Or everybody, I think now it's clear because they are very easy to use. I'm sorry, I could not take that because I was not having any big file to make you explain about that. Okay, structure does what on row number 82, if you see? It gives you the structure of the data. Okay. Data.frame, there are 755 observation or 2 variable, and there are 2 column, ethnicity and admissio. I told you we can invoke any column by using $sign. So object $. So if I want to invoke only ethnicity, what is the command? The command is SPSS data frame $ethnicet. So I think you all know now the command. Let's say let's check what the summary functions do. Right. So 83, just look at that. I think I have not talked about this function before. So look at that. Summary actually, if it's a factor kind of variable, factor we talk about the factor variable is something which is a nominal kind of. So it cannot, like, they are qualitative in nature, not quantitative. They cannot be quantified. So those variables are called factor variable, especially the which are not dichotomous, or maybe dichotomous as well, like nominal in nature basically in statistical terms. So it is giving us the summary. But if these 2 columns, ethnicity or admissio, ethnicet and admissio, are of integer, are of quantitative variables like integer or double, then summary function will give us the mean, median, mode, everything. right? So summary function in factor case is giving this result, but in the case of quantitative data, like where the data can be quantified, like numbers, it will give us mean, median, mode, all those things. So summary is a good function that I think the descriptive statistics function there in Excel, it works more or less the same thing, right? That's so we are clear with this SPSS data, how to invoke that. Any problem into that? Bibaz has a question. Oh, Rahel, you are now. I managed to do the same with the Excel file I loaded. Okay, great. So good. That was a real trouble sometime. Okay, Gaurav, you want to talk about the factor variable, right? Okay, look at that on row number 83. SPSS data from. If you look at what is the SPSS data, look at that. This ethnicity and admissio is filled up with some nominal variable, like the variable which only have the significance. They cannot be compared. They cannot have some ordered value in them. Like there is no order between except between black or white or Asian. They are simply value which have some qualitative information associated with that. Those kind of variable in statistics are known as nominal variable. Please note down this term, nominal variable. You can probably Google and you can learn more about it. There are nominal variable, ordinal variable, ratio level and scale level variable in statistics. So it will give you. So whenever you have a variable where the variable cannot be compared at all, like age can be compared. One is having 40 years of age, one is having 50 years of age. We know that the 50 is greater than 40. But in the case of Asian, black or white, we cannot say which one is good, which one is greater, which one is lower. Like there's no comparison in these variables. Okay, so those variables are known as nominal variable and are store those variable as a factor variable, right? I hope I explain you what I can do, and I suggest you to look at the term that I spoke right now. The nominal variable, ordinal variable, ratio level, scale level variable. That would help you a lot in understanding most of the data analytics, statistical analysis technique, like which particular technique can be applied on what kind of data. That's very important, and it's for everybody. Okay. Right, let's again move on to that. So now we are going to read the SS file. For reading this SS file, we have a special package, SAS7 BD80. I already have that package, so I don't need to install. So for reading SAS file, you need to have this package with you. Okay. Right. Library function, we need to first invoke that library function. There is no package called SAS data. Oh, that means even I need to install that. I forget to install it. What went wrong? Let me. Oh, even I don't have that package. Okay. Right. So I'm installing this package SAS7B D80. Installing. Right, it's done. Then I need to invoke the functionality of that package through library function. I can do that. It's invoked now. Okay. I don't need to run these two commands because I have like on row number 88 and 89. Actually, SAS7B DAT package I have some data tables in the SAS data tables or data in there. So you can probably look at the data as data.source and you can view it, and probably you can for practice purpose you can download any file and work on that. So let me run it for you. So let's say data says 7 data.source and I am viewing, what is that? Look at that. That are the data table stored in data.source. Like look at, these are the files name. There are around 232 files. Okay, and from here you can, this is the URL, you can directly invoke those files and install it somewhere, or you can directly use those files. So upload it and your set working directory, and then probably you can use that, right? So I have uploaded this file. Oh, let me show you which file. I have installed this oh, I'm not relocated right now, but it is there definitely. So just try to relocate this. It's a file ivsc.sas7bdat. I am reading this file using the command read.sas7bdat. Okay, that is the function for reading SAS file that is already there in the package, and we have invoked that, so it would work fine. Where is this file? Can you please tell me where I put this file? IVS7 SAS7 BDAT. It's a question for you people. Can you tell me where this file is? Yeah, Rahul. It should be in work. Yes, it's in working directory. So whenever I simply write, whenever you see a file name only, and it is reading perfectly by that means that file exists in working directory, whatever your working directory. Okay. So and if you want to locate where that file is, simply write get WD, get working directory. You can probably reach there. Yes. So yeah, great. So 90 control enter. Computer is a little slow today. Maybe because of Sunday. It's in holiday mood. Lakshmi is saying that I'm not able to run the following view. Says 7 BDAT. View, did you use V as capital? Okay, use V capital. Right? That's V is capital. In view command, V is capital. Right. Okay. Gaurav is saying, strange, I'm online and I'm able have to chat with you, but while listening says 7 BDAT, get the following error. Okay, try again. Sometime it happens. Try again. Maybe because of Sunday, sometime the crane goes on holiday. Just joking. Gaurav is saying okay. No, Gaurav, I just crack a joke. Anyways, Gaurav took it seriously. Okay, so I run there. Sometimes it happens that the CRAN mirror do not have it lost connection. Your connection is lost on carrier. It happens many times with me when I run with R or try to upload any package. So just try to rename it again after some time. So it will work. Okay. So okay, I read that file. Let's see what is there in the file. Control Enter. It is around 21,640 observation and 46 variable. And data.frame, look at that. SES package, the particular file we install and R install it as a data.frame. That means we do not need to use this command at row number 77. Right? If you now here before instead of running that command, we simply write head A. It is giving what? First 6 rows, right? It's working fine. But remember, in SPSS case, it was not working. We have to convert that into data.frame. So how you people can take decision that whether to use that as data.frame or not? Simply run this class command. It will give you an idea what class it belongs to. So that is the perfect thing. Tail A, it would work fine, right? So structure, tail, everything. Gaurav saying after you cover SES 7 BD80, do help us with HMISC. What is that? Class A again. Okay. Class A at row number? Lakshmi is saying class A again. Okay. Row number 92. Right. Let me run that. Class A. It is data.frame. Right? That means the SES file when R read it through read.ses7.7bdat and okay, yeah, no need to converse, right? So it took it in as a data.frame. So we need to, these are inspection command. They are very important sometimes. Okay, you got that. Gaurav, HMISC, where you see that? I'm forgetting. Okay, Gaurav, that I have to look at what's there in quiz. I need to read everything there in quiz. So you can probably, you lost 2 marks on this. Try to, look at the help the error there. So that might look at that. I have already installed this HMISC there. Try to figure out what is that. It has some functionality definitely, but you lost 2 marks on this. Okay, right. So try to figure it out. Then definitely I would help you. But I would suggest you to look at the because in analytical work we might even I don't remember or I don't know every package that exists in R, and it never be a possibility that you remember or you know everything, and sometime if you know that you may miss the spelling or something like that. So when a real situation comes, you need to look for solution. You need to, in that way, you should have a very good researching skills, maybe through community or through Google or some other say. Exactly. So why should be a question and quiz? You can probably ask or write it to support team. They would definitely take care. If it is not being covered up, then definitely it should not be a quiz. Right? So yeah, I agree with you. I agree on that part. Okay. So please write it to support team. Definitely this particular thing would be taken care of. Okay. Right, Gaurav. SQLDF using SQLite. SQLite is a open source version of given by Oracle. So we'll try to create a connection um, here with scripts and then try to assign one particular file that is already there in there's with us, and we'll try to read that file through a script. So I'm how to use a file in SQLite package. So I'm going to discuss this with you. For SQLite, we need to install the package SQLDF. I think I have this package already installed there. SQL, yeah, SQLDF is there, and it is checked. That means I don't need to run library, but let's see what's right. Now what I'm doing, I simply checking get working directory. What is that? It is okay. The same working directory I want to set. Okay, so that fine. It is always better to set the working directory, because so that you know where your all files and all things that you read or write somewhere where it could be, so you don't get confused. Sometime it generally take the document folder as a get working directory by default. So it is always advisable before you start working, better to use the set working directory to set the working directory. It should be a practice. So now look at the row number 105 SQL DF. That is the function that is there in the package SQLDF. Okay, and what I'm doing here right now, I'm creating an empty database there with attach testdb.sqlite as new. This is the command. So through this command, I'm creating an empty database there. Okay, and if you have SQLDF with you and you already have file there, we can directly fetch it. We don't need to create this empty database. But as I don't have SQLDF and I don't want to install all together a new database, which I don't need because that would affect my computer's performance. I have already installed many of the software. So that is why I'm using this approach. Okay, so on 105, control enter. Null, that means it has been created. There's no error message warning sign. Why null? Because that's an empty database. Okay, that's a reason. Now the database is created and I want to create a connection to that database. Like the same way we use ODBC and RDBC connection. So you should have a connection to that database. For that, there's a function called dbconnect. I'm using this. You have to write this command, this script altogether. Okay, SQLite and DB name test DB SQLite. This test DB SQLite is the database that I just created at row number 105 as an empty database. So in this way, there would be a connection. Okay, that connection would be stored in variable DB. So whenever we need to invoke that connection, we'll use this variable DB. So control enter. Right. So a new connection has been created. Okay. Right. A new connection has been created. Okay. Now look at row number 107. What I'm trying to do, DB write table. It is the function to write table into the database with one particular name. So look at that. Try to read this 107 properly. What I'm doing, DB write table, connection is DB, is this DB, CUNN is the parameter, name is equals to policy. So what I'm doing actually, value is linear regression.csv. I have a file linear regression.csv in my working directory, and I'm trying to assign, I am trying to put that linear regression.cvc into this SQLite database with the new name called policy. That one I'm doing, and row name is false, header is equals to true, because I don't have a row name in my file. If you have row name, then you can put that row name, row.name is equals to true. So let me show you where I have this file. Rahil, I have a question. Okay. Let me, Rahil is asking, I have a general question on how would you use R operationally for large data set. Rahil, I told you we can invoke, like we can use a large files in R right now. Oh yes, I can unmute you. Wait a minute. Just let me show you that where this linear regression file is there. So here is the linear regression file. If you could see that, it's in the folder. That what I'm trying to invoke through SQLite. Wait a minute, right? So I'm using this command. Let me come to you, Rahil. Yeah, Rahil, I've just unmuted you. Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
Okay?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
So my question is, I mean, if you think about, connecting to a Hadoop database or even an SPSS file or a SAS file, you could have, you have 21,000 rows, but you could very easily have, 21 million rows or 2.1 billion rows.
Yes.
So my question is, when you are doing your work, where are you doing it when people use R? Are they doing it on your local sort of PC, or at some point, there needs to be some bigger environment to use it? Is it done on a central server? I mean, I'm kind of confused on how do you.
Okay.
It's good for development, but how do actually people, analyze large data sets?
Right. So for large data set, what happened? Like what one can do. You can use on your computer. That has a limitation, but in case of Hadoop, it's echoing. I'm unmuting you, Rahil. Wait for a minute. Okay. So in large cases, like I told you, Hadoop, it can be incorporated with Hadoop, like it can integrated with Hadoop. So recently, I use Python in my program. I use 3 of the Python function, like sum, very basic, sum, maximum, and average, where I have around 30, I think 3.7 million rows. I was extracting, and I applied this function using pig script, and I register the Python file first, and then I move on. So it works very efficiently. So in this case, like the same way, this R can be integrated and can be called in the Hadoop environment. So this particular thing can be really solved, like that you are saying. So we can run in that way only. In one more thing that we can run in, as we can integrate the Teradata with that. So it can be SAP HANA, Teradata. So wherever the output is is updated, or they are storing database their data in Teradata or Hadoop or SAP HANA. So the things can be work pretty very easily on that using R. Well, I just unmute you.
Yeah, thanks. But I mean, like a good example is Teradata, right? Or even an Oracle database. Somebody has a data warehouse or some kind of a large data set.
Right.
You know, you're saying that, like, you know, let's say I have a, you know, because people have made investments in data warehouse, so there's a lot of data that's sitting there.
Yes, yes.
And if you want to connect to that data using R, are you pulling that data for, you know, let's say I create a data frame and I pull that data in, you know, into, and I'm sitting on my PC, which has 4 gigs of RAM, and everything's happening in memory. I'm assuming that I'm not going to be able to pull all that data into that data frame, right?
Yes, yes. That you're right.
So what happens in that case then? I mean,
then in that case, you know, that is something a problem with R still. R is, you know, that.
So there's no server version of R. It's just a local thing that I just do. On my
there's a company called R Revolution Analytics. So which provides a, you know, we can the server version or the version of R where you can use it, you know, or save it on your server. So yes, we have the solution, but I think that is a paid solution. Is it right? I lost you, I think. Okay, I lost your connection. So, Rahil, you saying something? Okay, I'm just unmuting you. Yeah, revolution accuracy is, Abhinay is saying revolution analytics accuracy is less compared to R. That I don't know because I have not you know, used those. Should not be, Gaurav is saying should not be able to install R on server and use a server interface. I think we can do that because in my company environment we are using it pretty perfectly and it's going fine. So I don't find any problem there. Abhinay is saying that our Revolution Analytics has give 60% accuracy. But in R we have get 85% of the same data and model. Okay. So that means Revolution Analytics are not you know, keeping their commitment. Like we are using it pretty in a very good shape and it's working fine with Hadoop environment. I don't know, I'm not sure about the Oracle and Teradata and some other because I've not worked on that. But in Hadoop we are using it pretty perfectly, and through Hadoop we can use, you know, a file of size at petabyte and terabyte. So we are working on that. Okay. Okay. So look at row number 107. DW write table connection DB name policy value linear regression.csv. I have a file there, so I simply running that 101. Rahil is saying, what is the form of output of your analysis that you share with appropriate people or your client? The output of our database may be an Excel file because the end user do not understand this, how we extract the data. You know, we make it in a proper visualized, like the end result of any analytics is always, it should be in a readable format by, you know, the person who do not understand about the analytics or big data or other technology, and we can use Excel, we can use CartoDB or many of the options available there where we show that data. Yeah, Lakshmi, there's an edit function there. We can insert. So in our, like I told you, I work for anti-fraud, waste and abuse. I work as an anti-fraud, waste and abuse analyst, where we look at the data and try to figure out whether there's an abnormal billing is happening or not. So based on that, like sometime we need to look at the last 4 years claims from one particular provider or one particular hospital. So in that case, there is a huge data. For that huge data, we need to use Hadoop. But on that data, let's say I need to run cluster analysis. So in that case, I need to invoke Python library or R library, because R or Python have inbuilt functionality there. I don't need to write algorithm on my own. Or sometimes people can't do that. That's the time consuming as well, and everybody is not capable of doing this. Even I had to write the algorithm for clustering. I may take a great time. So we use R or any of the existing functionality or package there in Python or R. We call that function. We run on our data. Now imagine as we are passing through all these billions of lines through that function, and that function there is an R. So when we integrate that function with Hadoop, it works very well. So it is working on all 37 million rows or billions rows. It works very well because it has to, if it has to give some output, it has to look at each of the row that is there in the we fetch the data. So it's working very fine. But end result or output is always would be in a form of Excel file, or maybe some way we generate it through any of the visualization softwares. Okay, so I'm running that row number 107. Warning message, split both file tape. Okay, this particular policy is already, so because I must have run that command, so I changed it with policy 1. The error because I was already having this policy there. Okay. Now on 108, I am trying to find out what are the tables that exist in that connection DB. So this time I'm having 2 tables, policy and policy 1. So look at that, I'm running that 108. Right, I have 2 tables there. Now what is the field of the table policy that exists in data connection DB? I can run 109. Look at that, these are the fields. Right, so it is giving the, now if I want to just look at the first 6 rows of this table, so I can, there's a command to read from the SQLite. The command is db read table. Head function does what? It's simply the db read table first read the file, and then head would give only this first 6 rows. So look at that. These are the first 6 rows. Okay. Right. Are you okay with this SQL-like part? Right. Rahil, that's okay. Like it will be given to you. The script is uploaded there, so you can probably use it. Okay, Lakshmi, that is most important. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, oh, right. Yeah, right. Look at the 113. We have discussed that before as well. I'm simply trying to read the table from internet, from outside source. So that is the very basic command, read.table, and give the full path of that. Let me see, we have not checked whether we have. Okay, data import, we discuss. Okay, that read.table have different options. You can probably take help and go Google it and read about it. We have discussed pretty much everything. And rows skips. Yeah. Somebody was asking that can we skip some of the rows? Can we start reading it from not from first row but from some other rows? So I suggest you that please you have this script with you and try to play around with these values. If you don't if still you have any problem, we can discuss in the next session about it. Right, that's the different way we can read. So you can play around with these whenever you need something. Okay, that I told you about the RCMDR. In this way, we also can import data from other sources. So SPSS, SAS, Minitab, Stata, Excel. We have discussed about SPSS and SAS. We can upload data file from Minitab and from Stata as well. That is simply the R command. Okay, we discuss about the foreign package spss.sav. Right. R and W, I don't know. I need to figure it out, Meenakshi. Because we don't have W there in our company. I will try to look at the solution and I can look for that, but I have not worked on W. Oh yes, Abhinya, I will come with these scripts. I have when we start with the data mining, I will come all of these scripts. Will let you know how to do the simple data mining through R only. Okay, so we'll come to that. There's everything. We don't need to use Excel. We can do everything through R commands only. I will come to that. I am waiting for machine learning part where we'll discuss all those things that you are asking. That is actually coming to the normalization of data and data importing, normalization of data, and the data manipulation part. So we have a a session on that, so I will come to that. All these things like reading from which place and any manipulation, omitting the null values or changing some values there, something like that. We'll come to that. Okay, we have discussed data import and our RODBC package. I will come right now. Okay, so data read dot table. This what is simply read. I'm reading a table that is on online is there. So read dot table. It has read. Head function does what? Simply gives us the first 6 rows. So this particular table now, table D has 2 columns. Let's see what is there in D. Right. It has 9 rows and 2 columns. So this is a very simple basic command to read data from internet if it is there. Okay. If I want to read a file that exists on some specified location on my computer, again, it's a very simple file. Very simple command that you can read. I think row number 118, we have discussed that before. If not, that's a very important command where you can browse through and then you can probably look at the file instead of writing the file name initially. So look at the row number 118. Here read.table file.choose function what? It helps us to choose the file on ourselves. Head is equals to 2 and then head D1. So now I think you are all of you are pretty much clear. This look at that. There are on row number 118 there are 2 functions I'm using, but the function is separated with colon. So both will work fine and they will execute instantly altogether. Okay, control enter. I'm at row number 118. Okay, look at that. I can browse through the file. Let's say I read this. Okay, that's giving me an error. What happened? Let me run that again. I need to look at the text file there. Oh, it's not. I need to give the it would read a specified format only. That's okay, Meenakshi. Let me come to that. You're asking about row number 118 head D1. Why we have comma after header? Okay, this one, right? Because there are in read.file, read.table, there are other. If you look at the read.table function, particular function have many parameters, and the R has a dynamic function concept where one function can take 2 parameter at a time, 3 parameter at a time, 4 parameter at a time. So sometimes we call a dynamic function which can take many parameters at a time. Like for a static function, I may not use the right terminology, but a static function is something if the function takes 4 parameters, then when you are invoking that function you have to pass all those parameters. If you pass only 1 parameter and the function is written to accept 4 parameters, then it would generate an error. The function would not work. But in R, what happens when a function is written dynamically? Function can take 5, 6, 7, 10 different parameters. But if you run with 1 or 2 which are essential parameters to invoke that, it works fine. There are some other parameters which it took by default. So that is something dynamic version concept. I suggest you to read the functionality. If you read that read.table, it asks you many things there. Like look at the scanning, like scan function, take the file name, what number of maximum rows, what is the separator, quota, escape, something like that. So in this way, so what I'm doing, I simply comma after that, I'm ignoring other variable. It would accept it as it is. Yeah, this command run in your machine. Even this command run my machine before. At this time, I don't know what went wrong. It's not running this time. Let me execute this again. Let me find out. It's very slow. I have uploaded file there. Right? It works fine. But actually in that case it is working is also. If you remove that, so yeah, it's worked fine. Why it giving me because I run the head function. So head gives me the first 6 rows. Right? So yeah. Maybe that might be some problem with that file. Anyways, so it works, it helps you to choose. On 119, what I'm doing, I'm again reading a CSV. Like where the file is a CSV format, we can read through read.csv. That works fine. Okay, on ODBC connection, Meenakshi, you were having problem with the ODBC connection. Is that are you able to solve that? Okay, no or yes. Oh, all right. You were having problem, right? Then it's for all of you. Please go through these. You need to download MySQL. All of you have to download MySQL. It will take time. Downloading up and all the functionality appears would take time. May take around an hour to complete that. So what all of you have to do, it's an exercise for connecting with ODBS. Here is the installer where you can install that MySQL. So on line number 122, I have given you the path where you can find the installer. Install that file based on 64 or 30-bit environment. Okay. SQL Server 2000. Okay, Abhinaya, great. Yes, you can continue with that. I don't think that there should be any problem with SQL Server 2008. Okay. So then, right, on row number 122, first install the installer and let do the installing it everything. Then after when you finish with installing this installer, then reach on the row number 123 and at this location. Okay, yeah, Lakshmi, you can do that. You can go ahead with that. I'm giving you the path, the way how you can connect. It will take time, so probably you can help you a lot to understand how to connect, and then probably we can write the queries, but it will take time. So probably you can try, and if you find any difficulty, we can move on with that, because I'm giving you all the suggested path to move on with this. So after downloading this, there's some reference point where you can connect your database with. So let me show what is that. There's some reference point where you will get a step-by-step approach how to connect with this. What happened? Okay, it's there. Right. Okay, this is the path I've written in the script. So this will help you in referencing. Make sure you remember your username and password. Otherwise it will not let you do that. So that is the reference. Then first try to reference it. Then probably we can run the ODBC command. There's a library for our ODBC, but for that, moving on to that, we first need to have the data connection and have the ODBC connector with you. And I need you, all of you must have this, so that at least we can understand the how we can run on that. The command is written here. This ODBC connection, when you run these commands, remember that C is a capital, so you need to write in that way. DSN is your ODBC connector name. UID and password that you must remember, or you must have written somewhere if you have done it. Then probably use this UID and password at the password location. SQL fetch is the query to fetch the SQL, and SQL query commander. SQL fetch is the query to read that table, entire table. But if you don't want to read the entire table, you can write the query, like if you know about the SQL queries, and there where we can go with very simple queries like select star from or something like that. In this way we can get. But first I suggest every one of you to go with that and try to install any of the database, SQL connector or anything that you can. Or otherwise, I've given you the path for this loader, installer that you can probably go on. Here's the basic commands are written, and through this command we can use it. That is pretty easy, but if you find any difficulty, we can look at that again in the next class, because it would take time. It would take around 1.2 hours to run on that. So I suggest you that you all download it with everything. Okay? Is that okay with you? Gaurav, Bibas, are you okay with that? Muralidhar? Okay, right. So yeah, Rahil, that's fine. Okay, you just download that, and please, the references there. Just try to do that. Otherwise, we'll work on that. So right, yeah, Bibas, that's okay. I told you about the how to read data from internet, so that we can do. We know that how to convert the data into the required format using the data.frame like class object, you can figure it out. The data you upload it from internet, you download it from internet, is of what kind of structure it has, like through the class command. And then probably, you can change it, the data structure that you want in our like s.data.frame or something like that we have discussed. So, and if you want to, get, Gaurav is asking. Yeah, Gaurav, we'll come to that. We can convert. I told you to convert about the data.frames and list and other things. So we can convert that. I suggest you to probably go back with the old scripts that I've given to you. So many of the things would be clear to you, right? And when we do the data mining techniques through R, will come lot of the different data mining tool that we use in Excel through R only. So there would be many of the things would be clear to you, to all of you. So I'm just Gaurav, yeah, most of you have told me that yesterday's script had not yet to upload it on our LMS. So for that, I need to talk to these guys, support team. So they probably, I've uploaded on Vistia account where I supposed to upload. So I've done my part. Only I think they have not shipped this script or videos from there to Edureka. So they have to complete. Okay, I will chase them. Yeah, great. You need to tell them. And even today's class, I will simply upload just after the class. Okay. So these are again some basic function to read. Data import. If you want to install any, download or store any URL into any data object, we can do that. Like get URL function. There are some function. We are not discussing those functions right now, but they are pretty self-explanatory in some sense. There are the different packages available there for Google prediction or HTTP request. So you can probably go and look on that and research on that. How they can help you in your GitHub. I would suggest all of you to use that GitHub functionality. GitHub is something where people store. It's again an open source kind of thing where people who write some script, any of the script like for R or for SAS or for Peg or Python, anything, they upload that whole functionality, whole function, whole package there in GitHub, so that other person can use already written code for certain functioning and use it. So GitHub is a very good tool and platform to move on. So it's a good one. So there are different package, n number of package, like we have around 4,000 package with R, and every time new package is being added up, so we can, number of list would be increase every time. Okay,